Okay, now I want to look at adding and subtracting fractions with unlike denominators again, only this time we're looking at mixed numbers, not just the fractions themselves. So here we have an addition problem with a whole number and a fraction plus a whole number and a fraction. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to ignore these whole numbers for a little bit, and I'm just going to come up with the fractional part because I know I need a common denominator in order to add fractions. And so I'm just going to use the method I had applied on the previous lesson, and that is to multiply the two denominators together to get a new denominator. And the numerators come from cross multiplication. 1 times 5 is 5, 3 times 4 is 12, and now I can just add. Okay, so here I'm just dealing with the fractions for a moment. So 5 plus 12 is 17, and that gives me 17 twelfths, and if I look at my whole numbers now, I can add that 6 in there, but I do have an issue here with 17 over 12 being an improper fraction. So I'm going to take 12 twelfths out of that, take one whole out of that, which now gives me 5 twelfths. Okay, and I'm going to take that whole, and I have to keep this equal, so I just can't lose it. I'm going to take it and transfer it into the whole number column. And so my final answer for this problem is 7 and 5 twelfths. Now I'm looking at a subtraction problem with fractions, unlike denominators, and even including mixed numbers. So again, the first step, let's just look at the fractions. Common denominator, multiply 4 times 5. Cross multiply to get each numerator. And now I take a look at this and I say, okay, I've got 5 twentieths minus 12 twentieths. Well, I don't have enough here to subtract 12 from. So I'm going to regroup, take 1 out of here. Okay, but when I do that, I can't just make this a 15 like we normally would do if we were dealing with just whole numbers or decimals, because we're not dealing with powers of 10. When I take 1 whole over, that's 20 twentieths. Okay, so I have to take my 20, add it to what I have, and my 5 becomes 25. So now I have 25 minus 12, if I'm just looking at my fractional part, 25 minus 12, and that is 13 twentieths, and that does not reduce any farther. Now all I have to do is subtract my whole numbers. 6 minus 3 is 3, and I have the problem solved.